Hello Yellow class! We're going to do some English now. So on Monday we started looking at the story of Hansel and Gretel and identifying the features of a story. And hopefully yesterday you created your own gingerbread houses that you can refer back to when we write our stories later in the week. So today we're going to start to plan our narratives, our stories, but first I would like you to have a go at this starter. So I would like you to add a full stop or a question mark to complete the sentences below. So you've got 3 sentences. I'd like you to copy them into your book or your piece of paper, whatever you're using, and decide if it needs a question mark or a full stop. Off you go. Okay, so the first one, why are we going into the forest? Hopefully you said that needs a question mark. Hansel and Gretel lived in a small hut. It's not a question, is it? So that one just needs a full stop. And finally, who built the gingerbread house? Well, I think that's a question, so that one would need a question mark at the end of it. Good job. So, when do we need to use a question mark? See if you can tell an adult at home or just think to yourself, when do we need to use a question mark? So we use a question mark when we are asking a question, don't we? It always goes at the end of a question, and we use questions to find out more information. Can you remember the question words that we have discussed in class? So we have the question hands, don't we? And they've got question words on them. We use them in class. Can you remember any of those question words that we have used? Pause the video and see if you can remember them. Okay, so the question words that we use on our question hands, we've got who, what, when, where, why, and how. And these often start our questions. They go at the beginning of our questions, and we have our question marks at the end. Well done if you got them. Good job. So, as I said, today we are going to start to plan our story, and we're going to plan the beginning and the middle of your own Hansel and Gretel narrative. So first we're going to start by looking just at the beginning of the story. To pause the video, can you tell your adult or whoever's at home with you what happened at the beginning of our story? Okay, so I'm going to quickly recap what happened at the beginning of our story. And I've put some of those amazing adjectives that you came up with in our lesson on Monday into my recap. And I've coloured them in red so you can see. So follow along with me. We met brave Hansel, timid Gretel, their worried father and their horrible stepmother. They lived in a teeny tiny house in the dark forest. The cruel stepmother planned to leave Hansel and Gretel in the scary woods while she and their father went to chop wood. But Hansel had a plan. He took shiny pebbles from the garden and left a trail. When they shone in the moonlight, they knew how to get home. Okay, so that's where we're going to get to with our beginning. So for your first task today, I would like you to have a go at drawing a picture or a few pictures to show the events in the beginning of the story into your book. And underneath it, I would like you to write some of your key words to summarise what happened, some adjectives to describe what's happened, some feeling words to think about how those characters would have been feeling, some sentence openers and some time conjunctions underneath the picture. Okay, so some pictures like this. And then there is just a reminder for you of what sort of things you could include underneath your pictures. Okay, so once we've done this, once you've paused the video and done this, we're going to move on to planning the middle. And that will be our lesson today. Tomorrow we will move on to the end. So you must include nouns and adjectives. You should include feeling words. You could include sentence openers and time conjunctions. Remember, conjunctions join 2 sentences together. They're like a junction in the road, aren't they? And time conjunctions mean that they have to pinpoint to a certain time. So it might be before, after, next, then, all of those time conjunctions we've worked on in class. And finally, you might, if you have one at home, use a thesaurus to develop your vocabulary choices. So you might want to up-level some of your adjectives or some of your words to make them even more interesting by using a thesaurus if you've got one at home. Okay, pause the video. You probably need about 10 or 15 minutes on this. It's quite a big task. So once you're done, come back and we will move on to the next section. Okay, well done. Right, welcome back. As we said, the next task you're going to be doing is going to be planning the middle. So let's recap again what happened in the middle of our story. Now, this is where the dilemma occurs. Remember that tricky word we've talked about before? Dilemma. The dilemma means the problem, doesn't it? This is where the issue happens, where something goes wrong in the middle of our story. So then we've got that time conjunction. The mean stepmother decided to leave them in the eerie woods again, but this time Hansel only had some bread to leave a trail with. However, so we've got a sentence opener there, the birds had eaten the bread by the time they wanted to come home. After a while, they came across the beautiful, colourful gingerbread house. So you've got two adjectives in that one and a time conjunction after a while. They thought the old lady who lived there was kind, but she was actually an evil witch. She put Hansel in a cold cage and planned to eat him. Oh dear. Okay. So just like we did for our plan for the beginning, you are going to draw a picture or pictures to summarise what happened in the middle of the story and write your keywords underneath it. So let's have a look at this example. So Miss Dallin put the pictures at the top, just like you're going to draw, and underneath she's got some key vocabulary, some adjectives. She's got mean, evil and cunning to describe the witch. As sly as a fox, she's got a simile in there. Afraid and nervous. Cage, so that's our noun, isn't it? Our naming word of those key things that we need to remember. Bone, again, key vocabulary. Sneaky, a clever plan, and bad eyesight. So these are all things that you can use to add in key vocabulary, key information to your plan for the middle. Okay, that's the end of our lesson today once you finish this challenge. So I'll leave this example on this slide for you at the end, and you can pause the video and again take as long as you need. It should take you about 10 or 15 minutes to write as much information as you can, and remember to use your thesaurus to up-level things, words and adjectives if you have one at home and if you would like to, and use as many adjectives as you can. Okay, good job guys. Make sure you send me the work you've been up to. I'd love to have a look and see what you're all getting up to at home, and I will be back soon. See you later. Bye.